Hello, this is a demo for the Nikon D3500 from the library. So here's the camera. It comes with two lenses, charger. The way that you take out the battery is from the bottom here. You can just move this yellow piece away and the battery comes out. To get the SD card out, it's on the right side, and just push this in and it'll come right out. To attach the lens, just turn this to the right. All lenses come with a little white circle that you can see here, and you need to line that up to the other white circle that you can see here on the camera body. So you line those up like this and you twist to the left. Wait until you hear the click. Some lenses come with this lock mechanism that you can just press and turn to the left so that you can unlock that. Remove the cap lens. If you want to switch lenses, just press this button again, and as you press, you can just twist this to the right. Before you take a photo, make sure that your lens glass is clean. You should have with the camera a little cleaning kit, so it's very important to do this. This one came with a lot of fingerprints. It's a bad idea to touch this, so try to avoid that. To turn on the camera right here, move this to the right. If you want to see the image here as you're shooting, take this little LV button here and just move it towards you, and then you're able to see, through the lens. And if you don't like that, just push that towards you again, and it'll show you the settings as you can see here. I like to shoot in manual, and this little circle, you can switch to the different modes. P is for auto, S is for shutter speed, A is for aperture, and M is for manual. For manual, I like to work like this because I can control the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. When that goes away, you can just press info and it should come back. So if you want to adjust the shutter speed, as you can see, the number is changing here. You can take this knob here and go to the right or to the left to reduce or increase the number. Normally, if you shoot at 60, you don't need a tripod. If you lower that number, then you will need a tripod for this. Try to stay with 60 and higher. The higher the number, the more light will come through the lens. The next one is the aperture. For that one, you need to hold this little plus and minus button that you see here. Hold it, and as you hold it, you're going to see the number change for the f-stop or aperture. And the lower the aperture, say 4 or 2.8, any low number, the blurry the background is going to be. So for example, if this was your product, it'll be sharp at this moment while the background is pretty much blurry when you have a lower aperture. If you have a higher aperture like 5.6 and higher, then everything will be sharp, your product and the background. And so this lens only reaches 4. And right here at the bottom, you have your light meter, and you will notice that it changes as soon as I am adjusting the speed. So let's say that I shoot at 60 and 4 and bump up the aperture to 5.6. Notice how you get an increment of lines to the left, and that is letting you know that the image is going to be darker. So left is dark, right side of that towards the plus sign is a brighter image. So sometimes you just want to have it so that it's perfectly in the center, and it's going to be a good exposure for your image. Now let's talk about image quality. If you go to menu, you go down to image size, and you want to look shoot at large, so that's good. Just press OK. And image quality, click on that, and the three highest image qualities are JPEG Fine, so you can shoot with that, or a raw image, or both raw and JPEG. This will give you 2 copies, one being a JPEG and one being a raw. I tend to like that, so I'm gonna go there because I can just edit that in Adobe Lightroom or Adobe Bridge. I can edit the raw file and it's not compressed. So to exit out, just go back to menu, and you're here. And to preview images, you can click on this little triangle looking play button. You can delete images right there. And while you're previewing images, for example, I'm gonna take a shot. You can preview, and you can also zoom in, zoom out. And here's how you focus on the on and off button. Halfway, and you wait for the sound. That's letting you know that you're in focus. And then all the way, that's a picture right there. Alright, I hope that's helpful. Play around with the settings, have good lighting, and arrange the lights the way that you want. Take control of the shadows. The closer the light is to the object, the harder or intense the light will be. The further away you move the light, the softer it'll get. Normally you want to have 2 lights, on the left, one on the left, one on the right. So in the studio you have more flexibility to do that. If you have any questions, just let me know. Alright, so to edit your photos, I normally just use Bridge. It's very simple, very intuitive to use. You can use Lightroom. Feel free to explore both. If you've never used Bridge or heard of Bridge, it's an extension from Photoshop. So it looks like this. So you can go ahead and download it. So here's how it looks. This is Bridge. You can navigate on the left side, and to find your SD card, just go to computer, find your SD card right here, navigate to the folder where you know the pictures are. I took 2 photos, and it gave me a raw file and a JPEG file. And the difference on the JPEG and the raw is that notice how the raw file it's not altered or edited, while the JPEG, as soon as I click it, you're gonna notice a slight edit or change of lighting, as you can see there. So I normally like to edit the raw file because it's uncompressed. I can take full control of the lighting within this file. So the shortcut to open the camera raw settings for this photograph is to do Command R, and you're gonna be introduced to this window. And if you know how to use Lightroom, the right side might look familiar to you. White balance, that is if you want to change the temperature of the image itself. Say tungsten, it's going to be a lot cooler, or fluorescent. So I normally just like to do as shot and adjust my temperature with this slider here if I want to warmer or cooler, but that's up to you. I'm not gonna go in detail about all of these. I think the names are pretty straightforward, so you can figure this out. You have curves if you want to go deeper into editing this, the highlights, lights, darks, shadows. You have detail, that is to further sharpen the image, to adjust the color mixing of your image. You can experiment with that. All right, and you can always go back to the basics if you want to keep editing this. And once you're done, you can just click on done, and it will save all of these numbers for you. And it will also add a little icon here letting you know that this image has been enhanced or edited. To go back, just do Command R. You can continue editing this. You can click on this little icon right here, and it'll show you the before and after. So that's the original, and that's the edited version. If you want to carry the same numbers or settings that you use for one image and copy and paste those to a series of images, you can Command click. Once you have all of those selected, you can do Command R again. You can take one of those images, for example, this one here already has all the numbers that I liked, so you can just Command click on the other one to select it as well. Click on this icon here. You will get this window, and you can click on the things that you want to reuse. For example, the basics was pretty much all that I touched for this, but if you were experimenting with detail, curve, color mixer, you can also check those. So let's just go ahead and do OK for this, and you will notice the change appearing on the second image. And now this second image has all the same numbers. And then all of these that you see here were part of that list that I was showing you when I had this window pulled up. And to open your images in Photoshop, again, you want to select all of them and just hit open. And at this point, you want to save your image as a JPEG because InDesign does not accept RAW files. So this is mainly for your poster. If you want to print this, save it as a JPEG and you should be good to go. So I hope this is helpful. Have fun and take some good photos. Take your time. Make sure everything is in focus. And yeah, keep up the good work.